A journalist has been forcibly removed from a conference after confronting a panel of Western media editors, including the New York Times and the Washington Post, where he asked them rather uncomfortable questions.
Is there anything you've gotten right in the last 20 years, or am I mistaken about that? I mean, it's just kind of funny because Iraq, wrong. Syria, wrong. Russiagate, really wrong. I mean, if you're so impartial, shouldn't you at least say, right, that Zelensky was going to bring us on the verge of World War III? That seems pretty fair. While Julian Assange rots in prison, all of you've got, fat checks because he's in jail for doing your job. And you know what? Tucker Carlson ain't no Seymour Hersh, but he did something you guys are scared to do. Speak the truth and actually be critical of the war. Say something about this bombing. We blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. Listen, don't stand there while there are people rotting in prison. Nobody said anything about Uhuru, right? The socialists who are in jail for being critical of this war.
We spoke with Jose Vega himself, who said that the U.S. media is trying to suppress Hersh's report on the Nord Stream blast.
This event was all the executive editors of the Washington Post, New York Times, LA Times, and some big up person in Reuters. And the moderator was somebody from MSNBC. And so I figured what better opportunity than to have the press, the media, right? The ones that say they know everything and that they implicitly say you cannot disagree with us. Otherwise, they have this kind of subliminal, like you're either with us or against us message to it. And what really happened there that day is I was defending, the Constitution. I mean, come on. My problem is that they're not reporting at all what Seymour Hersh is doing. They're burying this story. I mean, these are papers that once reported on the Pentagon Papers, right? The My Lai massacre, Watergate, right? These are papers that have notoriously gone against the government when they needed to the most. And now what? They're lapdogs to that same tyrannical government. They are the tyrannical element of the government now. And that's my issue. As for the turmoil that's happening in the press, yes, Tucker Carlson, albeit he has his flaws and I have disagreements with him, he's the only one who brought on people like Jimmy Dore and Aaron Mate to talk about Ukraine and why that's a sham, and Syria, why that was a sham, and Russiagate, why that was a sham, right? You don't see that anywhere else on primetime TV. But honestly, by censoring him, they've only elevated his voice because wherever he goes after this, he's only going to get bigger.